Hey guys, it's Marissa, and today's video is going to be how to flirt over text, or flirtexting as it's more commonly heard. And this is going to be part one. I'm thinking there's probably going to be three parts just because of the way that this book is written. It's kind of sectioned off into three parts. So this is basically just going to be tips and just general info when you're texting and flirting. And texting is probably my favorite way to flirt, so I'm excited to do this video. And just a quick little note before I get started on flirt texting, a couple people have been requesting that I do How to Flirt Part 3. I actually wasn't planning on doing How to Flirt Part 3, but if you guys want that, if you guys are interested in that, then totally let me know in the comment section, and I will get that out to you guys. So texting is a really great way of flirting for a number of different reasons. First off, it kind of eliminates shyness. You know, you're sitting behind your phone, you're probably going to be more likely to open up and say things that you normally wouldn't be inclined to say. Another reason is it's convenient. You know, we don't have to sit on the phone with somebody for hours talking. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's just, sometimes we don't always have the time to call people. So, sending a quick text is a lot easier than, flirting over the phone. And the third reason is actually it makes rejection a little easier to handle, whether you're rejecting somebody else by not replying to them or whether somebody else is rejecting you by blowing off your texts. It's going to be easier to cope with than if somebody just, you know, says something mean to you in person. But again, I hope none of you guys get rejected. But that's just a little note. Okay, so the first tip is actually to teach him how to treat you. There's that common expression that says, treat people the way you want to be treated. This is kind of like teach people the way you want to be treated. And what this means is, if he texts you at midnight, you have two options. You can either ignore it and reply later during normal hours, or you can reply to it right then and there. And I would highly 100% recommend not replying to it at that particular time, because you might be put into that category of, late night booty call or something like that. And that's a category you don't want to be in. Um, you have to teach him how to treat you. So if he always texts you and says, "Hey, you want to hang out? Like, I'll pick you up in 5 minutes." Um, that shouldn't be like an everyday thing. You need to kind of set the standards of how he needs to treat you. Because if you just say yeah, yeah, yeah every time you say, "Yeah, sure, let's hang out right now," he's not gonna plan dates. He's not gonna, he's gonna be more loose and more lenient, and he's not going to put in the effort that he should be putting in for you. Come on, you're worth it. So, just teach him how you want to be treated, and kind of set the standards early on so that he knows, okay, don't text her at 2 a.m. in the morning, text her during normal hours, plan ahead. Don't just expect her to always hang out with me 24/7. Okay, so the next tip is don't be an easy catch. And what this means is that when he texts you, don't immediately, like within 5 seconds, reply. And the reason why not is because, sometimes guys get turned off by a girl being too available, and they'll want to move on because, single guys want what they can't have. And if you're always constantly within 5 seconds replying, it's kind of a turnoff. And it sucks that that's how it is. But what I actually sometimes do is I'll go in my room and I'll like put my phone there, and I'll come back half an hour later, and then I'll see the text and then I'll reply. I kind of have to like hold myself back, but just don't, you don't want to be too available. And I talked about this in How to Flirt Part 2, I think. But, it's kind of like show a little leg and then pull it back a little. You don't want to just constantly be there. And that sounds bad. Like you don't want to constantly be there. But you wanna be available most of the time, not 24/7. So the next tip is to be chill. You do not want to be needy in a text. And I think it's kind of common to, kind of freak out when a guy doesn't reply within a couple hours because you're like, oh my God, what's wrong? Like, is he mad at me? Like, did he die? No. But just keep your calm and be chill. Whatever you do, I think the number one thing to not do is to just freak out and send him a complete freak out text. Because maybe he really is busy, maybe he's at work, maybe he doesn't have his phone. There's a multitude of different things that it could be, as to why he's not replying. Maybe he's in the movie theater. I've gotten text in the movies before and I can't reply. So just be chill. Wait it out, go watch a movie, have a sandwich, but do not send him a freak out text if he doesn't reply. Because, once you send a text message, you've sent a text message. You can't take it back unless you go find his phone and delete it. It's out there. So just be very, very careful. What I like to do is if a text, makes me mad or sad or angry or something, I'll just leave it alone for a little bit. I'll come back when I'm calmer, cooled off a little bit, and it's so much better than freaking out. So don't freak out, be chill. So the next tip is to be open-minded and to not get offended too easily. It's really common in texting that someone will say something in a text and the person on the receiving end, the person getting the text, will interpret it completely differently. Texting is very subjective. You can mean one thing and it can be interpreted by the other person totally differently. Like let's say a guy is teasing you lovingly, just kind of in a cutesy way. You can receive that and be really offended by it. You can be like, why is he insulting me like this? When in actuality, he was just trying to, tease you a little bit. So you just kind of have to keep your calm and not get offended too easily. You don't want to have a stick up your butt. You wanna kind of be lighthearted with it. Nothing is more attractive to a guy than a girl who can take a joke, dish a joke, just kind of go with the flow and be relaxed about it and not be super offended by anything he's gonna say. And that's really gonna be kind of a key to flirting, is by being relaxed and by being calm and by not getting offended and, by laughing with him over texting, LOL, JK. So just, don't get offended too easily and just be calm about it. Okay, so the next tip is don't be that girl. And what I mean by that girl is you don't want to be the girl that's constantly 100% 24/7 texting him. You want him to know that you've got a life, he's not the only thing on your mind all the time. You don't want him to think that you're sitting by the phone all day waiting for his text. You don't want him to think that you're very codependent. You want to come off as independent, reliable but independent. You don't want to be the girl he talks about with his friends negatively, like, man, she won't leave me alone, you don't want to be that girl. So that's what I mean when I say that girl. Don't talk about how you want to get married and have his babies over text. You probably shouldn't be saying that at all, but especially not over text. So that's what I mean when I say that girl. And I feel like every guy has kind of met that girl before, so you don't want to be her. You want to just be kind of coy, and not psycho, basically. Don't text him 24/7. If he doesn't reply to your first text, let it be. Text him once and then hide your phone. Don't text him again. Don't be like, hey, what's up? How are you? Are you doing good? I'm doing good. I just watched a movie. You know, don't continuously text him is what I was saying. Um, and this is going to be really beneficial to you because if he knows that you're independent, you're in demand, you have a life, that's awesome. He's just going to want you that much more. So that was part one. I hope you guys liked it. Part one is kind of just more general texting rules rather than, you know, in-depth flirt texting. Part two is kind of going to be a little more, you know, what do you say in a text? You know, the winky faces, all that jazz, all that good stuff. So that's going to be part two. It's going to be up soon. And thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any requests, feel free to comment. Subscribe to see part two and get all those updates and things. So I will see you guys next time. Bye. Mwah!